not the result that any of us wanted or expected. But that's a really good football team coached by DJ Durkin, and I got a lot of respect for them. They're going to win a lot of games this year. I thought the positives were evident. 9 of 18 on third down. Threw for 375 yards, and held the opponent to 3 of 11 on third down conversions. But it was a really, really weird game. I have 3 special team scores in a game and a defensive score. And, we responded well with the right kind of energy and enthusiasm. There was no doubt. There was no, here we go again. There was no bad body language, none of that, which I am proud of. But we got to play better. We got to stop the run. That was, I've never, with a conventional offense, save for a triple option team or something like that, I've never seen us give up so many rush yards. And then, obviously, we've got to do better in the red zone and on fourth down on offense. But, we're our own worst enemy right now. And I think, what I told them, I wish I hadn't prophesized as much, but we knew that there would be adversity, and we knew that the key to the adversity would be how we responded to it. And we responded to it in the right mental and attitudinal way, but the execution and the self-inflicted wounds that just the most inopportune time are things that are difficult to recover from, if not impossible. And so I told our guys to never get used to this feeling, but that if we all thought that we were going to come in here and in 9 months sprinkle some fairy dust on this team and think that we've arrived, then we're wrong. And the only way we know how to fix things is to work harder. And we have a mantra around here of 1-0 for a reason, and that's because, good or bad, we've got to rest, recover, and Sunday get up ready to work and improve. And the last, I'll open it up after this, I told them we all know the what. We all know what happened. We all know that we can't get a field goal block. We all know that we can't hold on touchdowns. We all know that we can't give up a long touchdown or a long kickoff return. We all know that we've got to convert on fourth down. We all know that we have to stop the run. We got to figure out the why. We got to figure out the why, and the only way to do that is to work and put your nose to the grindstone, get back after it, flush this game, learn from the mistakes, learn from the positives, which there were quite a few, and get ready to go next week. Questions?
Start up front, middle with Brian.
Yeah, Tom, a specific moment early in the fourth quarter, their freshman quarterback converts 3rd and 19, and then you get a horse collar penalty there. And I'm wondering, what's going through your mind when a obviously winnable game is slipping away?
Just, why can't we get out of our own way? That's where the big time introspection and self-criticism has to come these next 24, 48 hours. Is we got to find a way to stop beating ourselves. We got to find a way to execute the way that we've been trained to execute when live bullets are flying.
Coach, have you ever, maybe all wrapped into one, been as excited about special teams and as disappointed in special teams, kind of all in one?
It's hard to get excited. I know there were some really good things. Obviously, a block field goal for a touchdown and a punt return for a touchdown. But, to have a field goal blocked for a touchdown and then have a long kickoff return that set up a touchdown, special teams, to me, it was much like the other two sides of the ball. There was really, really positive things that we can draw from, and then just really, really untimely self-inflicted wounds.
Stay in the middle, Dennis.
Coach, in the context of your coaching career, how genuinely shocked are you at the result? And do you have any examples to draw from on how to deal with something like this with you guys?
Well, I don't know that shocked. I mean, I was telling anybody that listened how good this football team was, and that we were still a work in progress. So I don't know that shocked is the right word. Very disappointed. I think probably the best example I have is in 2014, where I was offense coordinator at Ohio State, and second game of the year, Virginia Tech rolls in and absolutely kicks our butt. And we came together as a team. We figured out the problems. We solved the problems. We had a great group of kids, and we went on to win a national championship. So I'm not saying that by any stretch is what our goal should be here, or what or anything other than I've been a part of teams that have taken a very unexpected and ugly loss and learned from it and built on it.
On your right, Justin.
Coach, I saw Shane Buechele had 15 carries, and that was double what the rest of the running backs had. Was that part of the game plan, to run him as much as you were?
No, it was. Well, one, I think a bunch of those were on scrambles. They were playing some two-man against us, which is obviously very difficult to get open in the throw game. And when you drop back to pass and they are in two-man, we tell our quarterbacks, if it's not wide open, take off and run, and he did. And then we saw a couple things that we wanted to exploit as the game went on. Down on the goal line, getting in 2-by-2 and running the quarterback sweep for a touchdown. And, the fourth down, we ran the same play and didn't execute it as well. But I don't know that going in, we said, hey, we're going to run Shane 15 times. I think called runs were probably only, I'm off the top of my head, maybe 3. The rest were either scrambles or pulls on reads. Yeah.
On your left, Cedric.
Tom, what happened in the first half offensively? The guys weren't able to get any points on the board. Was that more Maryland, or was that more Texas?
I don't have a great answer for you. I know, definitely game one they did a bunch of things that we hadn't seen on film, so there was a bit of an adjustment period there. I felt like we mounted a couple drives, but we missed a field goal, had a field goal blocked, and then didn't convert in the red zone. So I wasn't, the points were irrelevant. I thought we were kind of poking and prodding to figure out what exactly Maryland's game plan was for us on defense, and I think we did a decent job of figuring it out.
Front in the middle, Amar.
Coach, I know you need to look at the film, so I'm not asking for a specific answer at this moment, but Shane Buechele, he did struggle, at least in the first half, for what we can see. Did you ever have any thought about putting in Sam, and when you evaluate the film, how will Sam maybe play into things going forward?
No, never any thought to put Sam in, and then I don't know. We'll have to see. When balls are not completed, there's a lot of different things that could have gone wrong. So to pin, incompletions on the quarterback all the time is not fair. So the first part of your question, we do need to watch the film to figure out, you know, what steps we need to take. But certainly throughout the game, there was never a moment there where we even talked about it.
On your left, Kirk.
Yeah, I wonder if you could talk about the play calling and what you think of it overall, and what you think of it when you were down the south end and you were right on the edge of the goal line. You threw 2 swing passes to Garrett Gray and Chris Warren and didn't throw it in the end zone.
I don't remember the one to Chris Warren, but Garrett Gray was not a swing pass. It's a crack screen where we slip him down the line of scrimmage and then crack the man player. And they did a good job of crack replacing. I thought the play calling, you know, was not good enough, obviously, but certainly not disastrous. We need to find a way to manufacture some more big plays. I know that. I felt like we didn't, you know, we had the double pass that we overthrew. We had, you know, long ball to Colin that bounced off his, you know, face mask, and we had another one that was another to Devin Duvernay that was overthrown. So didn't capitalize on our deep ball shots that, you know, we're not good enough to go on 14, 16 play drives right now and just, you know, expect to score touchdowns at the end. We've got to manufacture some more explosive plays.
On your right, Mike.
Tom, you mentioned in your opening you wish you hadn't prophesized as much. What exactly did you mean by that?
No, I was half joking. I mean, I having coached as long as I have, you know, you try to warn your team of what you think is going to happen. And when you're playing a really good football team, you know that they're going to make plays, and you know in week 1, you know, every team or a lot of teams, you know, there's some growing pains too. So just I'm not saying I wish I hadn't told them that. That's not, I just, you know, it's eerie to think that, you know, what we did kind of, you know, because sometimes it doesn't go that way. Sometimes you say, hey, you're going to be in a dogfight, and you go out and you rout somebody or something like that. But we knew that this was going to be a dogfight. We knew that we were going to have adversity, and when we did.
On your far left, Nick.
Tom, you were asked, I think, a couple weeks ago, is this a top 25 team? And you said, no, you know, this is a 5-7 team. You are at your record is. But do you think that top 25 ranking kind of seeped into your players at all? Do you think they came into this game expecting that, you know, thinking they deserve to win rather than we need to go out and get this win?
No.
Back row, Steve.
Coach, in the secondary, a lot of wide open receivers in the secondary to them. Did they do something that surprised you with their pass routes, or was it busts, or what was it?
I don't know. I'd have to. I mean, I saw what you saw. I don't know exactly what happened on some of those, but I know the quarterback threw the ball better than we thought he could, and we've got to be able to generate a pass rush a little bit better on first and second down when they do pass. But there's a lot of max protection, 3-man routes, and they did a good job.
Time for 2 last ones, Danny and then Brian.
Tom, kind of going back to Justin's observation earlier about your run game. From your observations, why do you think the run game kind of struggled to get going today, especially with the backs, Warren and Porter?
I don't know. I think, you know, we you know, they only had 14 carries combined, so it's not like we attempted a lot of runs. I think, you know, we saw the way that they were supporting the run and figured we could throw the ball on them, which we did. So I think it was a bit of a give and take when we did run the ball. I don't know. I gotta see. You know, of those 14 times, you know, Chris averaged 5.2, and you know, Kyle's average was not great, but yeah, I don't know. We knew that kind of after the first couple of series that the fronts and coverages they were giving us were going to be designed to kind of have an extra hat in there for the run, which is why we started throwing the ball a little bit more.
Last one, Brian, in front.
Tom, talking about the defense, we talked how the defensive line was thin depth-wise, but just what are you and T.O. talking about when they're getting the delayed stuff and literally just running right at the teeth of the defensive front and getting right through there for big chunks?
We're talking about how do we stop it? What the hard part was, we just, from my observation when we were in base defense, we misfit a lot of our gaps. I think our guys maybe tried to do too much. And then when we did blitz on first and second down, we weren't disciplined in our assignments and allowed for some holes. So we got to go back to we got to be able to play the run in base, and when we're not blitzing. And in order to do that, we've got to be very gap sound, and guys got to understand that you got to do your job and don't try to do anything other than your job, because the defense is built to stop the run if we do our job.